Hi, I'm Steve G. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Blend.
I'm Jeff Tepel. I am the Chief Revenue Officer and co-founder of Blend. Blend is a cross-functional executive leadership community built for leaders in large enterprise businesses. So that's VP plus, SVP, and C-suite leaders across large organizations. The way that that breaks down for us in terms of the experience when someone becomes a member is they get put into two different groups. One group is all about local connection and engaging with people in your city community and experiencing different member meetups, events, conversations that exist within your local community. Meeting people that you wouldn't traditionally meet because they don't operate in your same circle. Outside of the local connection that gets together monthly, that funnels into access to our global community and really starts to shape the ability to connect with leaders all over the world, from Europe to North America and expanding over time, where you get access to master classes, different content experiences from senior leaders across the globe, sharing their experiences on the challenges that they have, but more importantly, the solution and how they have solved specific challenges that may resonate with you. So for us, it's not just about getting together at events, having a good meal, and meeting new people. It's also about how does the content resonate with you? How do you interact with our mobile app and our connections all over the world, whether you're traveling to new cities, connecting with new people, or you're right at home and you're looking for someone to interact with or a program to join. Blend was built for senior leaders in large organizations. So for us, when thinking about the Blend community, who should be a part of it and how they should interact, there had to be some connective tissue for us, right? So there are a lot of communities out there that are for marketing leaders, for IT leaders, for women only, and there's tons of different communities out there. So the connective tissue for us and for Blend is really any VP plus, any senior leader within a large enterprise organization. And the reason that we chose to focus on enterprise leaders is because really when we look at cognitive diversity as a way to solve problems, it works best in solving complex problems. And we know from our experience that enterprise leaders, enterprise organizations typically have the most complex challenges, but also there are a range of senior leaders out there that have done or experienced something that somebody else is just now going through. So it's about connecting the dots from challenge to experience and how collectively our members can overcome those challenges. The way that Steve and I met was we worked together in a previous life for the better part of about 10 years. And I was actually working on a large deal at the time and meeting with a client in Texas. And Steve flew over from the UK specifically for this meeting to support me and help me because he had heard about the opportunity of potentially landing a very large deal. So Steve didn't have to do this. He didn't have to come over and help me. It really was to no benefit for him to do so. Yet he came over. We instantly clicked as friends, and there was just an energy that I felt towards him, and hopefully he felt towards me. Where he came in, he supported me on the deal, and it was actually really comforting to have him there because I went in, I was very new in my career. I went in guns blazing, looking for a very large potential opportunity, a multi-million-dollar deal. I think we walked out of there with like a very low six-figure commitment. And I was a bit down about it, and Steve put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "It's all right, we're gonna get there, we're gonna get it." And I didn't really believe you. I didn't really believe Steve when he said that. But as the year went on, as we delivered results for the client, we ended up actually securing more than the original proposal that we put in front of them. And for me, that showed me Steve's willingness to help other people, which is something that I am very passionate about, when there was no profit motive in it for him. And I think that is kind of the story of how we met. And from there, we just started working together very closely, became very good friends, got to know each other's families, and yeah, here we are today running a company together.
We went for dinner together, and that moment of just kind of, are we sure we're doing this? Are we sure we're doing this? And we had this conversation about, this is the moment in our lives where you move from being friends, which we'd been for a long time, to being family. And you were like, what do you mean? And I said, well, with friends, you can have an argument and not speak to each other for the rest of your lives. I was like, but with family, the next week you still have to turn up at grandma's house and have dinner together. And that's what being co-founders is about, is that there's going to be times when you agree and you disagree, but you still got to love each other and you still got to go to grandma's house for dinner. And I feel like I'm really like happy and proud about the fact that I consider you family, not friend. And because I know we can have those difficult conversations with each other, coming from the right place, coming from kindness, coming from wanting to be best for our partners, our customers, our friends. And I think that's, one of the things I love most about our partnership. It was that moment that often you would see at events where people would meet who wouldn't normally get the chance to meet, and they would uncover ideas or knowledge that they wouldn't normally get the chance to uncover. That moment of serendipity we used to talk about, didn't we? That felt like magic. It felt like magic at those events that we'd host, or thousands and thousands of different events that we'd have hosted. And could we replicate that? Could we create an environment where that was consistently the thing that people were experiencing? And so we then went and spoke to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of execs all over North America and here in Europe, talking to them about where they go to learn and be challenged and find new ideas and build their networks. And what we found was that people didn't really build their networks after a certain point in their career. They were stuck in their silos, they were stuck in their industries, they were stuck in their job-specific verticals. And that kind of hit us in the face, didn't it? It was a bit of a realization that, wow, there is nowhere for these people to get outside of that space. And then I was driving home from Leeds in the car one night, listening to Matthew Side's book, Rebel Ideas. And I rang you in the car, do you remember? And I was like, this is it. He's talking about cognitive diversity. And it made sense of all the conversations that we'd been having over that period of time, that actually by purposely accessing ideas, knowledge, and people who are different from you, that they think different from you, will challenge your cognitive bias, challenge you to think differently about the projects that you're implementing or the things that you're challenged by in your business or in your life. And it was like this aha moment. We were like, yes, this is it. This coming together is then Blend's community. If we can bring these people together who are thought leaders in their own right, they're experts in their own right, and that we create a forum for them to be able to share that knowledge and to do it in a really safe, collaborative, fun way, then actually not only could we create something that we'd be really proud of, but that we would have a meaningful impact on how these leaders could take the next steps in their career, or that they could create a meaningful change in their organization about how they view the idea of diversity, and that it's not about what you look like, it's actually about how you think and what you can bring to a conversation from your experiences and all of the things that make you who you are. So I think for me, that's kind of how we got to where we were.
I wanted to go and have a conversation, learn really cool things, meet really cool people, but continue to have those conversations, right? So instead of learning something once, because nobody retains all the information that they learn at one time, I wanted that continuous stream. So when Steve and I actually got together, I had a note on my phone that I had written out a idea for a business. And I had went to Steve and I said, okay, let's do something together. We didn't know what we were going to do. I said, what's your idea? Like, if you could do anything, what would it be? And he literally regurgitated exactly what I wrote on my phone in terms of the business plan and the business idea. And I pulled my phone out and I showed him the note and the date on it. And it was just kind of serendipitous that we were both working in the same industry, having similar conversations with senior leaders. And when we wanted to start something together and start formulating ideas, literally the first thing that we both came up with is Blend. And obviously it has evolved, and we've created a ton of new ideas associated with it, but the core of what it is to bring cross-functional enterprise leaders together to explore their difference of opinion, difference of perspective, and more importantly, difference of experience and how they can use that to their collective benefit, was ultimately the thing that we landed on, which is really exciting.
I don't just think it's important, I actually think it's critical for leaders today to ensure that they're staying relevant, that they're staying happy, that they feel challenged, that they feel like they're growing. I think the last few years we've heard lots around growth mindset, we've heard lots around purpose and around building careers that are the right careers. But I think the thing that sticks all of that together is access to ideas. And I think that's what cognitive diversity is all about. It's about opening yourself up in a really meaningful way to find people, ideas and knowledge that you don't have access to or you wouldn't have realized without making the effort to go and embrace cognitive diversity. So I think for people who are looking to innovate, for people who are looking to grow in their career or in their personal journey, embracing cognitive diversity is critical to your long-term success and hopefully to some transformative change in your business or in your team or in your organization through embracing the ideas of others and being empowered by that.
Cognitive diversity for me means leveraging the experiences and the knowledge of every single person that you come into contact with, whether it's to solve small everyday tasks and look at it from a new perspective, or large complex challenges and the value that lies in doing so. And I think that is personal and resonates with me because there was a period of my life that was extremely difficult. And the way that I came through to the other side and found, I guess found myself in a way, was through the helping hand of others and people sharing their experiences and ways that they've overcome challenges in their life that really has supported me in my growth. And I think on that same token, I think the only way to keep it, and that is happiness, success, and all things that come along with it, is to give it away and to help other people. So for me, cognitive diversity is wrapped into all of that, where it's embracing everyone's unique perspective, being open-minded to a different way so that you can achieve greater things for yourself and then the people around you that you help in the future. The way that the events world, different communities, our friend groups, the way that we traditionally operate is in silos, right? They're with people who are similar to us because that's the easy conversation to have, right? It's easy for marketing leaders to get together with marketing leaders and talk about marketing things the same way it's easy for IT and IT leaders to get together and talk about all things IT. As the system is set up, it is built to connect people who are similar, who have the same line of thinking. So that's just my perspective on the topic.
I think you're right. I think cognitive diversity is one of those things that I think when you explain it to somebody, it's innately in all of us because we've experienced it in our lives. That moment when you met somebody you didn't know you needed to meet and you've learned something you didn't know you needed to learn, and you feel challenged, inspired, maybe frustrated sometimes, but often it's incredibly powerful to have that experience. And so I think we've all felt that at certain points in our just life. And so when we explain the idea of cognitive diversity to people, it makes sense. They understand it because they've experienced it in life. But, as Jeff says, we are tribal in the way that we work as humans. It's easier for us. It's more comfortable for us to be around people who think like us, look like us, work like us, and have the same experiences of us. It's uncomfortable for somebody to say to you, "You're wrong. I have a different opinion," or "I believe something different to you." That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's a skill to be able to sit and have a conversation with someone who has a different view from you, and to be cognizant that actually it's okay for you to have that different view and that we can learn something from each other. And I think for us, one of the things that really excites us about Blend is creating that safe space, that forum, that environment where you can have those conversations, where you can, as a leader, challenge the ideas and ideology and business acumen that you've had for the last 15, 20 years with people who have got the experiences to do it with the credibility, and to say to you, actually, have you thought about doing it this way? Have you considered this? Or maybe that doesn't work anymore. Have you thought about this? Those are questions that often are difficult for humans to experience, but actually they're the most powerful conversations to have, and that's what we're here building, is that environment to have those conversations.